Salam semua, saya Nathan Batu from the Service Centre in Jalan Ipoh. Thank you very much for coming. Today, I'm unveiling our Batu Action Plan. This Batu Action Plan is very different from anything out there by any of the other 10 chalons. You will not see a more focused, comprehensive document, blueprint for what we think Batu needs. And this is not just my take on it. This is the voices that I've heard over the last few months. This is the input from all of that. Yeah. Let me just take you through what the action plan covers. So it essentially is, what do we want to do? Does Batu need this? How are we going to do it? And who's going to pay for this? It's very simple, just 4 basic questions. And from those 4 basic questions, we have zeroed in, with your input, into 4 key components, which is local economy, education, job creation, and well-being. If you look at further the local economy, again, it's broken up into 4 areas: assisting administration of local Batu businesses, driving growth for local Batu businesses, increasing investment into Batu, branding of Batu as an automotive parts hub, amongst other things. All of the details are available from our website, warisanbatu.my, and our other social media handles. We want to have, secondly, a fair industry-relevant education. Most of the education, by the time you get into school and by the time you graduate and finish school, it's probably irrelevant because times are changing, the economy is changing, the needs are changing. So we want to make sure that our children's education is time-proved, economy-proved, and keeps in touch with the latest trends. If you look at the emphasis on IT in China, for example, or in Singapore, for example, or in the UK, US, they're looking at coding, programming, social, media, data analytics. This is what pays monies, not all brick and mortar type activities. I mean, they are that, but I think over and above that, we need to be a bit more industry relevant. Third, the vital lifeblood of any community is jobs and entrepreneurship. If you don't have economic power or you don't have money circulating in the local economy, everything has a downward spiraling effect. The households can't pay bills, the Grab drivers can't renew their licenses, they can't do their jobs. So this is what I think is one of the key components. And finally, the social safety net and well-being. I've been to more than 2,000 over houses. I've heard, I've felt, I hear, I've seen the issues firsthand in the public housing schemes. This is not, obviously it's not glamorous, it's not in the mainstream media, it's not, there's no torchlight on it, but it's a real issue. These are our fellow Malaysians, these are our fellow neighbors. We can't turn a blind eye to this. So obviously we need to have a fund for the well-being, meaning if you talk to any household, if someone, the orang tua, at night, someone gets a stroke or a heart attack, do you have 1,000 ringgit to rush them to the hospital or to a clinic? The answer is a resounding no. I'm talking about 1,000 ringgit, not for a holiday or a fancy watch or a car or a TV, whatever. It's just for the emergency. For an emergency, 1,000 ringgit is hard to come by. Now, you're looking at developing local community businesses. House B40, house ownership, repairs and maintenance, obviously that's a hot potato. It is something that we need to somehow make sure that we assist, fix. Lots of empty houses in the PPRs. There needs to be a clear guideline so when they'll be occupied back again. And finally, whatever money that are coming in, I want to make sure there is transparent reporting of those funds. Perhaps an outside third party, be it a big four or a top 10 accounting firm to certify the usage of the funds, and a report card of sorts, so that you know what monies came in and what it was used for. That's it. It's very simple. That's all we have. That's it. It's a very comprehensive, simple, laser-focused document, the Batu Action Plan. So kindly get hold of that, and I hope you'd be happy with it. I hope we have met your expectations. Now, my little message before Undi Day on Saturday, couple of things. I would kindly ask the people of Batu to think through this process. I'm not particularly worried about the big parties. I'm a small party. I'm a small fry. They call me a mosquito. They call me a vote splitter. They don't give me much respect. I'm okay with that. Absolutely okay with that. At the end of the day, it's not Dato Sri Anwar or Rafizi or Dato Sri Najib or whoever else, the big names, who will decide my faith and whether I will sit in this chair. It's the people of Batu. It's the common folks here who will decide who gets to sit in that chair. And that chair is going to be a hot seat, yeah? Whoever sits in that chair is going to have one of the hottest seats, because there's going to be 4 or 5 eyes on them, whether they've done the job. The honeymoon is over. The people of Batu will benefit. And I think this is for the good that you have many options. Coming back to the dilemma of whether you vote for a party or for a chalon. This is this thing. You have your loyalty to a party, but then you have a dud who is the chalon. So what do? You blindly go and vote for a brick? What is a brick going to do for the next 5 years? The last 2 terms or 3 terms, it was the same party representation. You know what they've done? You've known Batu before and you've known Batu after. Now, do you want to repeat the same thing again and give them another 5 years? So 20 years have gone past. Or do you want to look at a new option? And I've always said this. Those who are anti-BN are looking at PH as the option, but PH doesn't have the monopoly or the sole rights to develop the nation. There are other parties who can contribute as well. Like they say, it takes a village to raise a child. It takes many parties to nation build. It shouldn't be the sole rights of PH and its component parties. I think Warisan has talent. Warisan has good people. Give us a chance. So, another thing to consider before you vote. The previous MPs, have they given you a report card of sorts? What monies came in? What was it used for? Has there been effective policy formulations? These are my, accomplishments. Your child goes to a school every month or every quarter or every, term. There's a report card. How come we don't have a report card for politicians? How do you know what kind of work they have done in the constituency? Is this published, or is this a OSA, Official Secrets Act, that you will not disclose but yet seek another term? How do you seek another term when you haven't even told us what you did in the last term? So we have to blindly follow you just because there's party loyalty? That is completely incorrect. This whole business of I've put the roads, I've given you, aid. You're supposed to do that. That's part and parcel of what you're getting paid for. To say that you've tarred the roads is saying like, I brushed my teeth before I came to work. You don't get a prize for brushing your teeth. It is basics, So things that are, I think you need to raise the handle, the bar of the MPs, the qualifications, what he brings to the table, the expectations of what an MP delivers. Not just as, I've party, someone comes there and he has a honeymoon for 5 years and they la land, they talk about some stuff and then it's same old, same old. That is the reason why there's so much of distrust and, people just feel so fatigued by politicians and politics because their lives are not going to change on the 20th, on Monday or 21st. You think our lives are going to change? Our car bills are going to be paid, our road taxes automatically renewed, the ferry comes in and sorts out everything? Nothing. We're going to go back to square one. So kindly choose the candidate well. and it's in your hands. I hope you will give me an opportunity. I'm Nathan Batu, Parti Warisan, number 8. Nathan Batu sentiasa denganmu. I look forward to your support. Thank you very much.
Mr. Nathan, David here from Digital Collective. There's a strong push towards digitization in your manifesto. And I noticed there's something called investbatu.my. Could you elaborate a bit more?
Sure. If you look at Batu, it is the most strategic location for a constituency ever. 10 minutes you are in, or 5 minutes you are across in Kenny Hills, 10 minutes you are in Kara, 10 minutes or 15 minutes you are in KLCC. You've got the best food, you've got beautiful developments here by YTL, fennel, cinnamon, tamarind, all of that, So you've got fantastic location. You've got super institutions like 100-year-old churches, masjids, everything is here. So why hasn't Batu been promoted? Why is the decay that you see? You see the shops are across the road in Kara, which is Sunrise Development. You see how the development attracts expatriates and how it's well planned. But 10 minutes across the road, you could live cheaper, eat, play here, and go and do your stuff wherever you want to. Why hasn't the previous MPs put out a document to attract investments into Batu, promote Batu? Everybody gains. The property prices go up. You've got trains coming in now. It's just wonderfully placed, but poorly promoted. So one of the things is I would like to bring perhaps large digital incubators from across the globe into Batu. All those empty buildings could be filled up. People could live and work and play here. You could get IT professional digital nomads sitting right in Batu, eating the best dim sum, going to the best bakute, getting to the best banana leaf restaurants, playing in Kara or Publica or Hartamas or wherever you want to, but sitting in Batu. Everybody benefits. There's a, accelerator effect for the local economy. So I think Batu needs to be better promoted. You can only do that if you have a chalon or a candidate who has the depth. How can you have a candidate who hasn't finished his education or hasn't done a real business, doesn't understand the nuances of balancing your books, paying your bills? How do you advise businesses or advise your fellow constituents when you yourself have not been exposed? This is not an internship. This is a real job. You hit the ground running day one, you get paid, boss. So I hope the manifesto that we have, or the Batu Action Plan, is a lot more comprehensive than anything that's ever been put out.
David here again from Digital Collective. There is a strong agenda in your education plan to push the young generation towards tech. Could you elaborate a bit more on that?
Sure. All the highest paying jobs are in tech. Look at this, just basic election. Who is the hottest commodity? Who are we looking for? We are looking for those social media people. All of them, TikTokers, who knows how to optimize your search engines or whatever. So this is, I think, what pays. So why aren't we putting our attention and focus into these jobs? Look at Indonesia. The owner of Gojek is the education minister. He says clearly, by the time you get into school, by the time you finish, it's irrelevant, the education. So unless and until is industry proved it is relevant, whatever you study for, it's going to be outdated. Just talk to the parents. All the parents that I speak to, I have PTPN loans, I've signed off, I've paid 70, 80,000. Now they can't find jobs. They're Grab drivers, Shopee. No disrespect to Grab. Grab is a super company, but we can't be a nation of drivers and delivery people. I think we need to aspire much higher. These are stopgap measures, I understand, or certain strata looks for that, but that can't be the job option, yeah?
Hi, Wilson.
Yes, sir.
Here. Speaking of businesses and jobs, a lot of people are saying that there's going to be a recession next year. What are your thoughts and proposals on how to prepare for the impending recession next year?
Every major indices anywhere in the world points to that. There's a major economic slowdown. People are afraid of it. And already, I think this is something that I've mentioned earlier, people don't even have the 1,000 ringgit for an emergency. Just imagine a recession hits with a double whammy of a virus, new virus that turns up, or some sort of restriction of some sort. Are we even prepared for that? So unless and until you are even thinking along those lines, that what happens when the recession hits, I think you're going to be caught completely off guard. The jobs right now are just haphazard. There's no planning. So I strongly urge for us to start thinking along those lines, not just waiting for allocations from the government to dish them out. The jobs are not recession proof. Companies are not recession proof. So unless and until we are thinking along those lines, now getting ready for it, hopefully it's just a little chink and then it goes off and our jobs return back. Our tourism sector is affected. Look at all those graduates who have studied for tourism. In KK, Sabah, one of the hottest destinations, the arrival rates have plunged. So it has a knock-on effect. The industry players, the ancillary services, guides, buses, tour operators, all of them are struggling. What can they do? All do online catering at home? How much nasi lemak can you eat? How much curry puffs can you, it's just, I think we are completely clueless. We are not even thinking about it. It's not even there. We're busy politicking, saying this, saying that. It's all slipping through the cracks. I'm not sure whether I've answered your question. Have I missed anything?
Actually, I do have a follow-up question to that, right?
Yeah.
So if what you say is true and what we understand, there will be some form of economic contraction next year. Would this affect your peruntukan or your funding, for example, as an MP? Right? What are your thoughts on that?
For sure, there's going to be slashes. If you're looking at putting food on the table for the B40 or the most vulnerable, obviously there has to be cut somewhere else. And I think the first person who probably won't get his allocation is the MP. If the MP doesn't get the allocation, peruntukan, then what happens? Does he have the creativity of knowing how to find the money, where to find the money, how to, make sure that the programs run? You've got CSR budgets from all the public listed companies. You just need to give them a platform for them to be able to use it, report it transparently, disperse that off. You can bring in, during the MCO, who was helping who? It was your ordinary man on the left, man on the right, kita jaga kita. Where did that whole tag come about? It was just because we couldn't rely on the government machinery or the mechanism to be able to lift us up. We don't have a strong safety net like the Scandinavian countries or anywhere else. So it's all haphazard, it's all reactive. Unless and until we think about those right now, we are going to be caught off guard, for sure. So my thinking is, right now, whoever sits in the chair has to be preparing for a possible slowdown, for a matching of jobs. There are plenty of companies here that need people to be, need employees. There are people who need jobs and the matching isn't happening. So one of the things that I'm hoping my service center would do is to provide that sort of service to make sure that the Batu residents find jobs, the Batu employers find people, and perhaps we can facilitate that.
Soalan dalam bahasa Melayu, Encik Naden. Kalau Encik Naden menang, adakah akan senang nak berjumpa dengan Encik Naden ataupun cuma VIP saja boleh berjumpa?
Orang yang undi saya ni orang biasa, bukan VIP. So untuk saya ni, yang penting itu saya punya warga Batu. Dari anti-anti yang saya pergi, uncle-uncle di kedai bakute kah, anti di PPR kah, di market kah, dia orang yang undi saya, bukan VIP ya. So untuk saya itu sentiasa saya duduk sini, saya punya rumah sini, saya akan kerja sini, memang senang mau cari saya. Dan saya punya perangai, saya bukan malu orang. Memang saya akan tegur. Saya akan datang sana. Saya akan jumpa. It is part and parcel of my job. Part and parcel of my responsibility. Kalau you malu pun, saya akan tegur you. Jangan risau. Naden Batu sentiasa denganmu. Look for me. Cari saya.
I think that is all. Any questions from the press?
Terima kasih semua. Thank you very much. Happy voting. I hope you make the right choice.
Mana saya boleh download action plan?
This is available on our social media handles. It's available on our website, Warisan Batu Official. If not, come to my service center. Look for me. Cari saya. I'm always here somewhere. You'll find me. Get hold of it. way better than anything else out there. Thank you, sirs and women.
Any advice for the young voters?
Young voters, of course, that's a critical segment. Almost 14,000 of them. I think maybe perhaps some of them are savvy, some tidak berapa savvy. Untuk saya tu, saya harap tahun lagi 5 years you nak tambah you punya masa depan, boleh beli kereta ke, boleh kahwin ke, boleh ada anak ke. These are bread and butter issues. Kalau you pilih orang yang salah, lepas tu jangan mengamuk. Oh, ini tin kosong, ini saya hantar. Kita kena pilih ini. Make sure that the fellow can help your future. Dari segi business kah, dari segi kewangan kah, dari segi kalau ada masalah. Does the calon have rambut putih? Dia sudah jatuh banyak kali, sudah bangun banyak kali. Bolehkah dia bantu? Atau baru ini pampers, pakai pampers itu macam mana dia nak tolong you? So harap-harap anak muda tolong pilih a good CEO, good rep untuk wakili kamu. Supaya nanti kalau ada masalah, you boleh cari dia. Sebab kalau you nak main football pun, you tak akan ambil orang yang tidak pandai, tak ada skill. Kan? So sama dengan kerja ni. Pilih orang yang boleh buat itu kerja for all of you. Thank you very much. Signing off, Nathan Batu sentiasa denganmu. Sorry.
Last one, Mr. Nathan.
Yes, sir.
Besok 17 hari bulan ada satu suara rakyat Batu forum.
Ya, betul.
Jelaskan sedikit tak?
Forum ini di Sri Perak jam 8. Siapa-siapa nak tanya semua soalan, keliru saya siapa. Ada orang cakap saya dari Punjab, ada orang cakap saya dari Sabah, ada orang cakap saya tidak dari Amerika, overseas. Tiba-tiba jatuh, masuk Batu. Bukan, saya orang sini. Datang jumpa saya, tanya semua soalan. Whatever you want to ask me, put me on the hot seat. I'm sure I can answer your questions and more. Harap, I hope to see you all semua jam 8 Sri Perak. Voices, yes sir.
Senada kebelakangan ni ada orang tuduh dan sebar gambar di mana Datuk Seri Syafi bersama Mahathir Zahid dan Hadi Awang di satu bilik. Apa pandangan Tuan Nathan tentang gambar ini?
Ada gambar Datuk Seri Anwar pun peluk-peluk Tun Mahathir. Berapa tahun? Dulu makan sama satu piring. Sekarang kucing anjing punya fighting. Itu semua gambar lama. Sekarang kalau Datuk Seri Syafi dengan Tun Dr. M kerjasama, kenapa pejuang bertanding sini? Takkan dia mau kelirukan voter sengaja tapi kawan? Doesn't make logic bah. Ini semua fitnah. 2 minggu lalu Tun Dr. M ada pergi KK. Dia ada hantam warisan. Dia cakap warisan ini tidak boleh pakai. Parti kecil. Tidak boleh, tak ada relevance. Di Sabah pun sudah kalah, tak akan dia mau datang Semenanjung. Itu yang check the reports. Check dulu apa yang ada dalam media. Memang dia datang, tak akan you mau 2,5 jam mau pergi KK lepas tu bantai warisan. Yang so called you punya kawan. Tak ada logic bos. Memang tiada nothing. Biar solo, you undi warisan, you dapat warisan. You undi lain, PH jadi PN, PN jadi BN, tidak tahu apa satu hantu akan keluar. Untuk kita, warisan, you undi warisan, you akan dapat warisan sahaja. Alright? Thank you very much. I'm done.